Hello, you are at the Addison Center for the Arts, and I have with us a very special guest today. This is Geoff Bevington. He is the stellar illustrator who did all of the Warhol 2023 pop art icons throughout DuPage County that you'll see with the Warhol Exhibition at the Cleve Carney Museum. Geoff, can you tell us how you did this?
Yeah, I mean, that's a question a bunch of people have asked me, and certainly if you have an iPhone or any other kind of a phone, you can find an app that says Warhol me or Warholize this, and it'll do something. It'll turn whatever image you have into a Warhol-like picture, but I did something a little bit different. I started out like Andy Warhol did, which was he took Polaroids, he took images, and the images from the folks here and elsewhere were supplied to me. He put screens on top of those images like a Polaroid, and then he manipulated the image itself so that he'd get a good image of the black or the outline of the picture. Then with an X-Acto blade, he cut and made screens for screen printing. So when you see Marilyn Monroe, she's all these black pixels, or sometimes he used a different ink, and then he laid an entire skin tone on top, and then her hair, and then her eyebrows, and then her lips. And so I did pretty much the same thing, but I did it digitally using a digital X-Acto blade. And there are two different ways to get at it when it comes to using filters in Photoshop. So I would first outline every aspect of the artist or the picture, their hair, their eyes, their lips, their jacket, anything else I wanted to bring attention to, I would create a path. And then I would look at the image itself, and depending upon the quality of the image, and frankly the images varied in quality, I would select the type of filter I wanted to use. And there were all kinds of filters for exposure and balance, but two primary filters were used to create the black line art, and those were either posterize or threshold. Threshold I liked because it made the images look more like pop art and Andy Warhol style. While they all do, it really creates different levels and pixelates the black and white. And so for the two folks here, the two men, I used threshold. And what you see is an example of some images where I could actually pull it out and have fun with it. But other images, sometimes if the image wasn't good itself to start with, and other times it just lent itself to that particular filter, I would use posterize. And posterize was used on the two women on the outside here. So with different varying effects. And then I would layer images on top of images. The woman, I forget her name.
Maria Reyes.
Maria Reyes, if I used just one filter on her hair, it would just be one blob of black. So I used a couple different filters on different layers of her hair to drop them in, so you would see some white and gray and pink and purple. And then so probably each of these images is at least 10, if not 20 layers in Photoshop that are all on top of each other with different effects like multiply and the like. And then they're all flattened and you get this image.
That is so cool. They look so simple, but they're very, very complex, and it was a lot of trial and error on your part.
Yeah, and actually Addison, I don't know, it's because you started with A, but these were some of the first images I did after I came up with the initial Glen Ellen image. And so experimented with different styles, so they don't all look exactly alike, but I think they all fit in the same genre of pop art.
They look fantastic. They're a wonderful set. You did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you've done for us and for DuPage County. And I hope to keep in touch, and maybe we'll see some of your other. Now, you also design things like toys and stuff like that as well.
I've had a varied career, all kinds of things. Toy designer, I'm a muralist. In downtown Glen Ellen, you'll see the original for Glen Ellen that was the impetus for all of this. It's an 8-foot by 8-foot metal mural with Sean Hayes, Jeffrey Deaver, Laurie Anderson, and Catherine Dunham. And you can find out more about those people. If you go to warhol2023.org, you go at the bottom, you can look at every single town, starting with Addison, and find out more about each one of these people. And you can also find out about all the events that Addison or any other town is doing in celebration of Warhol. But 2 years ago, when Frida Kahlo came to town, I pitched the COD and the Mac, or Diana Martinez in particular, on painting a mural of Frida Kahlo. So that was one of probably my 100th mural or something like that. So I paint murals all around, and that one's downtown Glen Ellen. It's about 25 feet by 10 foot.
It's great. I love that piece. I didn't know that. Well, now I got to meet you.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
so
you know.
cool to know the person who did the artwork.
And you know, my ethos is if you want something, you have to ask for it. It's been wonderful working with the Mac, with Diana, with Dawn, and everybody. But you know, people don't normally reach out to you unless you're a world famous artist. So if you want to make a name, if you want to get work and do something, you have to go ask for it.
Well,
So,
good
that's what
for
I've done.
you. Oh, well, and what I saw when I was there previewing yesterday was that beautiful collection of all of the icons from all of the different villages and cities there at the Mac. It was so cool. What a great accomplishment.
Thank you. It's
You
been a
should
lot
be
of fun.
very proud.
I am.
All right. It was wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.